forward to do it as gently as possible. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on? Part of what we're going to do together is tell your story.
It's difficult to articulate. Sorry. It's like I know why I'm doing this, but I don't know to. It's not as simple as not being in love anymore.
I understand. Why don't you start at the beginning, wherever that is for you?
Well, I was engaged to Ben, living in LA. And I felt like, yes, I want to make movies and marry Ben. Jesus, I was only 19 or 20, and I've never felt older in my whole life. If I was being honest with myself, some part of me felt that, or that-ish. But you tell yourself, no one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. Boy, this tea is delicious.
Isn't it? It's Manuka honey.
Anyway, you were asking about Charlie. So yes, I was happy with Ben, but aware of the deadness. And then I went to New York to meet a director for a space movie, but one where they take space seriously. Sex trafficking in space. It was political, or they wanted us to think that it was. It actually was just fulfilling the same need certain fucked up porn does. While I was there, the producer invited me to a play. It was in someone's living room with all the lights on, and like nothing I'd ever seen before. A strange, surreal, dystopian story. So well acted. And one of the actors was this big shaggy bear who played all his lines looking directly at me, which I knew couldn't really be the case, but it felt that way. And of course, later, I learned that it was. The cookies are good too.
I'll give you some to take home.
Afterwards, I was introduced to the cast. And this pair turned out to also be the director. He started talking to me, and I talked back. And the that part wasn't that. It was just in a comma. We spent the whole night and the next day together, and then I never left. I moved into his life. But if I was honest, all the problems were there in the beginning too. In the beginning, I went along with it in his life because it felt so damn good to feel myself alive. In the beginning, I was the actress, the star. People came to see me at first. And that felt like something. But the farther away I got from that and the more the theater company got acclaim, I had less and less weight. I became who? Oh, you remember that actress who was in that thing that time. And he was the draw, which would have been fine, but I got smaller. I realized I never ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness. He was so smart and creative, it didn't matter. I would tell him things at home in private, which would work their way into public conversation, into his work. And for a while, that felt like enough. I was just so flattered that someone like him would find an idea of mine worth using or a comment of mine worth repeating. Then I got pregnant. And I thought, having a baby will be ours, really ours, but also it would really be mine. And he was so excited. And it was nice for a while. But kids, they belong to themselves. The instant they leave your body, it's a process of getting away from you. And I didn't belong to myself. It was stupid stuff. Big stuff. Like all the furniture in our apartment was his taste. I didn't even know what my taste was anymore because I'd never been asked to use it. I didn't even pick our apartment. I just moved into his. I would make noises about wanting to move back to LA, which would come to nothing. We would come here on holidays because he liked my family. But whenever I suggested we do a year or something, he would put me off. It would be so strange if he had turned to me and asked, "And what do you want to do today?" I watched that long documentary about George Harrison. And I thought, just own it. Own it like George Harrison's wife. Being a wife and mother is enough. And then I remembered I couldn't even remember her name. And then this pilot came along. It was shot in LA and paid so well. I felt like a lifeline thrown to me. Here's a bit of earth, that's yours. And I was embarrassed about it in front of him, but also felt like this is who I am, and this is how much I'm worth. And it's stupid, but at least it's mine. And if he had taken me in a big hug and said, "Baby, I'm so excited for your adventure, and of course I want you to have your own piece of earth," then we might not be getting divorced. But he made fun of it and was jealous, like he is. And then he realized about the money and told me I could funnel it back into the theater company. Then I realized he truly didn't see me. He didn't see me as something separate from him. And I asked him to tell my phone number. He didn't know it, so I left. And I think Charlie slept with Marianne, the stage manager.
That's fucking awesome.